The weather is about to get very active as a ton of snow and extreme cold is coming. It all begins today as a powerful winter storm will smash the Dakotas, Minnesota, Wisconsin, the Great Lakes, and the Northeast. A widespread 5 to 10 inches of snow is likely across these areas, which will create slick and dangerous travel conditions. However, an even bigger surprise is about to happen. In parts of the Midwest, including Iowa and Illinois, intense winds over 60 miles per hour could whip up a sneaky blizzard threat, even without new snow falling. These ground blizzards can create sudden whiteout visibility and treacherous road conditions, catching drivers off guard. What's even worse is that a powerful and long-lasting Arctic blast will arrive Thursday. This Arctic blast will deliver the coldest air of the season to millions of people. Record-breaking temperatures are almost a guarantee, and we may see temperatures as much as 50 degrees below average in parts of the country. Temperatures as low as -30 degrees will be possible in the Midwest, with wind chills as low as -50. So in today's forecast, we are going to break down exactly what you need to know about this crazy winter weather pattern that is developing right now. And we have a lot of weather to talk about. So let's get right into it. And I want to start with our winter storm that is going to be impacting the United States today and tomorrow. This is going to unload a ton of snow across the Midwest, Northern Plains, Great Lakes, back into the Northeast. Right now, we actually have freezing rain that is falling across North Dakota and northern South Dakota. Also, a band of snow showers is moving across the Great Lakes this morning. And then by late this morning into the early afternoon, we are going to see a rapidly intensifying low-pressure system in the northern plains that is going to begin to ramp up our snow threat across areas like Minnesota and North Dakota, with moderate to heavy snow really becoming a big concern by the early afternoon hours. Eventually by around 4 to 5 o'clock, we're gonna actually have some freezing rain in southeastern Minnesota near Owatonna, even back over near Minneapolis. And that's gonna cause some slick spots on the roadways. So travel problems are definitely in play. And then during rush hour, heavy snow is gonna ramp up across Duluth and even near Minneapolis. Minneapolis will be right back being a possibility. Notice this pink area here that does extend from about Minneapolis back into the Illinois and Wisconsin border. That is once again freezing rain, which is going to accumulate into ice, and a few locations could see as much as a 1/20th to a 1/10th of an inch of ice, which definitely could cause some slick spots. And perhaps some very isolated power outages late tonight. And then by the overnight hours, snow is mostly going to be happening across northern Wisconsin, the upper peninsula of Michigan, and almost all of Michigan will have some light to moderate snowfall overnight. And then also a little bit of light snow will continue back over near Minneapolis. So if you don't see snow in Minneapolis during the afternoon today, there is a little bit better of a chance as we go into the overnight hours, but it's going to be very quiet. We'll be right back. Because as we go into late Wednesday and Thursday, this is going to crank into a big lake effect snow event, especially in northwestern Michigan and also back over near Watertown, New York. Those are two of the key areas where significant snow is a possibility Wednesday and Thursday, all that mostly coming from lake effect snow. And then by late Thursday into early Friday, that lake effect snow will continue at least through Friday morning in those two areas, but we're also going to have some more snow making its way across the Rockies into the central and northern plains. This could make a run at going into the Midwest and the Ohio Valley on Friday as a new winter weather event, and we will talk more about this in just a moment. Now, in terms of total snowfall accumulation, we are expecting a widespread 5 to 10 inches of snow anywhere in the purple. That goes from northern Minnesota back into northern Minnesota, Michigan. This also includes Green Bay and Wausau in Wisconsin. One area that's very interesting is going to be Minneapolis. Minneapolis could easily be only a coating to almost no snow, but you guys do have a chance at least of seeing somewhere around 2 to 3 inches of snow. If you're on the northern side of the Minneapolis area, I'm mostly talking about the suburbs just off to the north there, Minneapolis. And then back over Milwaukee, we're only expecting a few inches of snow, nothing crazy. And then Chicago, not expecting really much in the way of snowfall at all. And then as we go into late Wednesday and Thursday, the snowfall accumulation numbers will be increasing back over northwestern Michigan as lake effect snow occurs. We are likely going to see at least around a foot of snow when this event is all said and done back over there near Lake Erie. We'll likely see around 6 to 12 inches of snow and then back over in the northeast. This is where snowfall totals could be really crazy back over near Watertown, New York with those lake effect snow bands. We could see upwards of 12 to 18 inches of snowfall. So very significant snow is on the way for many. And another concern with this winter storm is the risk of ice. We're not expecting a major ice storm by any means, but get ready at least for a glazing of ice in parts of central Michigan. Also from northern Illinois back into southern Wisconsin, even through areas like North Dakota. If you are in North Dakota this morning, that is actually where 1/10 of an inch of ice is a lot more likely. Further south than you should go, the lesser ice that will be happening here now. Another real concern that we have with this winter storm is that it is going to be very windy across the Midwest as we go into tonight and also tomorrow morning. And one of the biggest reasons why this is concerning is because we already have a lot of snow on the ground outside of where we are going to be seeing snow tonight, which means if you are in Iowa, Illinois, northern Missouri, even over in Nebraska where there's still snow actively on the ground. Wednesday morning could be extremely hazardous on the roadways. We could have blizzard-like conditions all across Iowa with wind gusts being widespread between 50 to 70 miles per hour. So this is again, very dangerous. What we're talking about here across the Midwest on Wednesday. This is something that happens every single winter, but it's not always talked about enough. So I just want to give you guys all a heads up in the Midwest where there's snow on the ground. We could have blizzard conditions, even if it is not snowing. This means near zero visibility is a very strong possibility as we go into Wednesday. Now, another thing that's going to change a ton over the next 7 days are the temperatures, and we also have more snow coming by the end of this week, so let's talk more about it. This is what our jet stream looks like right now. This is essentially what's going to transport all this cold air over the next few days. Right now we already have a big dip in our jet stream across the Midwest. That is where a big storm is forming right now that's going to bring a ton of snow today across the Midwest. And the Great Lakes by tomorrow and Thursday. This jet stream is going to get even more intense, and it's going to be pulling a lot of energy out of Canada, and that's going to be transported down here into the Midwest, the northern plains, even back down in the southeast by Thursday and Friday. And this is what is going to trigger a major Arctic blast. Friday and Saturday will easily be the coldest days possible of really this entire week, as we are going to see extreme cold in play where our jet stream winds are the strongest, which will be primarily in the Midwest, also the Great Lakes, the Ohio Valley, and across the Northeast on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And then eventually by Monday and Tuesday of next week, our jet stream will get a little bit weaker, which means that cold air is still definitely going to be there, especially with northwesterly flow being in place. But it is not going to be nearly as cold by Monday and Tuesday of next week. But if you're along the East Coast, just be expecting this weather to stay pretty cold at least through Tuesday. And then by the middle and end of next week, things get a lot more uncertain. But this weather pattern is already promoting very cold weather. And then on top of that, the threat of even more snowfall. Now let's talk more about exactly how cold it is going to get. We're going to begin with our temperature anomalies, which is basically the difference from average for temperatures. This is beginning with Thursday morning. We're actually going to have some pretty cold air across Wisconsin and Minnesota, many areas around 20 to 30 degrees below average. And this is basically the appetizer to the Arctic blast that we are going to be seeing this weekend for much of the country. Notice over here on the West Coast, we have very warm temperatures right now. Above average in the Rockies and along the West Coast. Eventually by Friday and Saturday, that's really not going to change much because Arctic air is going to be building across the northern plains in Canada, and this is going to unleash across the Midwest, the Ohio Valley, and the Northeast on Saturday and Sunday, while warm temperatures will continue across the South and the Southwest. By Saturday and Sunday, that is when the coldest weather will arrive. I think Sunday morning will be the coldest morning of the entire week and probably of the entire month, honestly. This is going to be pretty crazy because by Sunday morning we will have a widespread area from central Illinois all the way back up into Canada where temperatures will be as much as 40 to 45 degrees below average with sub-zero temperatures all in play here Sunday morning, and then by Monday and Tuesday all that cold air is going to sink down to the south. It will reach into areas like Alabama and Mississippi, but notice it will not be nearly as intense, about 10 degrees below average back down in the deep south. And then eventually by Tuesday and Wednesday, all that cold air sitting across the East Coast and the Great Lakes before eventually moving out by Thursday and Friday. And then right before Christmas, we could be talking about well above average temperatures across the Great Plains and all along the West Coast. I do think, though, if you're in the Northeast, there's really not going to be any end in sight to the frigid weather that is happening right now. And this weather pattern change that is happening is going to bring extremely dangerous cold to the Midwest and the northern plains. Saturday morning, our low temperatures are forecasted to be anywhere from 0 to negative 30 degrees across areas like Minnesota, North Dakota, and almost all across Wisconsin. And then our freezing line will be all the way down into the deep south. And then by Sunday morning, it's really not going to get much better. In fact, many areas Saturday afternoon even might not make it out of the negative temperatures, which is really crazy this time of the year. Again, December is not always this cold across the northern plains of the Midwest. This has been a very aggressive start to winter, I gotta say, compared to previous years. Sunday morning, we'll be talking about widespread temperatures anywhere from 0 to, once again, negative 25 degrees anywhere from Fargo all the way back down towards Milwaukee. And then Monday and Tuesday, things will gradually start to improve, but again there's really not going to be any end in sight, at least the sub-zero temperatures, until at least around December 17th or so if you're in the Midwest, so get ready for some very cold weather ahead. Also the wind chills, which are the feel-like temperatures, will be a lot worse in the Midwest, Ohio Valley and the Northern Plains. Widespread area sub-zero for your feel-like temperatures. This is again factoring in, and then Sunday morning is not going to be much different. I wouldn't be surprised if we have a few areas near negative 50 for feel-like temperatures Saturday morning, especially in northern Minnesota. Now beyond this winter storm, we are going to see a little bit more snowfall as we go into Thursday and Friday. More energy is going to come over the northern Rockies. That is all from an atmospheric river event in the Pacific Northwest that's already dumping a lot of rain and snow, and that energy is going to make its way into the northern plains on Thursday, but there's going to be a lot of dry and sinking air across the Midwest and the northern plains, so I don't think we're going to see a full-blown winter storm form here, but there will be some light snowfall Thursday into Friday that makes its way into the Ohio Valley. Could reach around 1 to 3 inches of snow in some spots, and then by late Friday and Saturday a little bit more snow is going to try to shoot into the northern plains in the Midwest, and that'll be mostly for Iowa, Minnesota, perhaps even near Chicago, Indiana, Ohio, Saturday afternoon. Overall, though, again, not expecting much, maybe 1 to 3 inches of snow out of that as well. And then by Sunday and Monday of next week, things get a lot more uncertain. But as an Arctic blast fills in, we're likely going to see a large high-pressure system form. And with all these pressure changes that are happening over the next several days, you could experience some headaches on Sunday and Monday with how strong the high-pressure system will be. And then beyond this, again, things get a lot more uncertain. But as of right now, just before Christmas, I'm not really eyeing any major winter storms. However, that can always change.